Welcome to the Full Moon Film Buff, episode 159. We're going to talk about Skinwalkers from 2006. I watched this on Amazon Prime and I had not seen this before. As always, we begin with the prominent crew and cast. You can always find links to a more complete credit list in the show notes. The film was directed by James Isaac, was written by James DeMonico, Todd Harthan, and James Roday Rodriguez, billed as James Roday. The special effects were by the Stan Winston Studio. James Isaac began creating film creatures in the early 80s. He worked on Return of the Jedi, Gremlins, Enemy Mine, and The Fly. He made his directorial debut on The Horror Show after the original director left the project a week into shooting. Unfortunately, Isaac died of blood cancer in 2012, and I think this film showed he had promise, and I'm sorry that we didn't get to see more from him. James DeMonico is best known for creating the Purge franchise, writing all 5 films in the series and directing the first 3. The series was reportedly inspired when he and his wife were almost killed by a drunk driver in Brooklyn. Todd Harthan is primarily a TV writer and producer. His highest profile projects include Psych, Rosewood, and The Resident. James Roday Rodriguez is best known for portraying Sean Spencer, a hyper-observant consultant detective and fake psychic in Psych and the subsequent Psych film series. He also wrote and produced Psych. We talked about Stan Winston when we covered the Monster Squad. The cast includes Jason Behr as Varric/Caleb Talbot, Elias Koteas as Jonas Talbot, Rona Mitra as Rachel Talbot, Natasha Maltha as Sonia, Kim Coates as Zoe, Sarah Carter as Catherine, Tom Jackson as Will, Matthew Knight as Timothy Talbot, Rogue Johnston as Grenier, Barbara Gordon as Nana, Sean Roberts as Adam Kilmer, and Lyric Bent as Doak. Jason Behr's breakthrough role came as Max Evans in the science fiction series Roswell from 1999 through 2002. Following this, Behr transitioned to film, most notably starring opposite Sarah Michelle Gellar in the supernatural thriller The Grudge in 2004. More recently, Behr appeared as Trip in the second season of Roswell, New Mexico in 2019, a reboot of his original series. Elias Koteas studied acting at the Actors Studio under Ellen Bernstein. Koteas is a versatile character actor appearing in both acclaimed independent films and major Hollywood productions. Notable film credits include Some Kind of Wonderful in 1987, Crash in 96, Fallen in 98, The Thin Red Line in 98, The Curious Case of Benjamin Button in 2008, and Shutter Island in 2010. I will always think of him as Casey Jones in the original 1990 Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles film. In television, Koteas is well known for his roles in Chicago PD, The Killing, and Combat Hospital. Rona Mitra began as a model and entered TV in the early 90s. She gained recognition as the live-action model for Lara Croft between 1997 and 98, which helped launch her acting career. Her breakthrough television role included Party of Five, The Practice, and Boston Legal. Mitra is particularly known for her roles as Major Rachel Dalton on Strike Back from 2012 through 2013, and Rachel Scott on The Last Ship from 2014 through 15. Notable films include Doomsday. We'll see her again in this project as Sonia, the daughter of vampire elder Victor, in Underworld, Rise of the Lycans, when we get to 2009. More recently, she appeared as Mercy Graves in Supergirl in 2018. Natasha Maltha trained in ballet before pursuing acting. She made her film debut in Disturbing Behavior in 1998. She became known for her roles in action and fantasy films, Elektra, the title character Rain in the Blood Rain franchise, and DOA, Dead or Alive. Kim Coates signed up for an acting class on a whim. He started in theater, portraying Stanley Kowalski in A Streetcar Named Desire and in the lead role of Macbeth. His film career included The Last Boy Scout, Innocent Blood, The Client, Bad Boys, Black Hawk Down, Assault on Precinct 13, and Goon. However, Coates is best known for his television work, particularly the great show Sons of Anarchy. Sarah Carter is classically trained in theater, dance, and fine arts. Carter is best known for her roles in Smallville, Shark, Falling Skies, and The Flash. Film credits include The Vow, Haven, and Final Destination 2. Carter expanded into directing with In Her Name, which premiered at the Tribeca Film Festival in 2022. Tom Jackson is one of Canada's most popular actors and country folk singers. His most notable television role was on the long-running series North of 60 from 1992 through 98. He appeared in numerous other television shows, including Star Trek: The Next Generation, Law and Order, and more recently in Outlander and Cardinal. Beyond acting, he created and starred in an annual series of Christmas concerts called the Huron Carol, if I got that right, for 18 years, and has sung in 14 albums. He was the Chancellor of Trent University from 2009 until 2013. Matthew Knight has a brother named Jack and a sister named Tatum, both of whom are also actors. His notable film credits include The Grudge 2 and 3 and The Greatest Game Ever Played. After appearing in a few horror films, he was so concerned about being typecast that he sought out the role of Ethan Morgan in My Babysitter's a Vampire, the movie and series, as it attempted to spoof the horror genre. Knight has stepped back from the entertainment industry in recent years. Rogue Johnston worked both as an actor and in stunts throughout his career, establishing himself as a reliable supporting performer in action films and television productions. He is known for his work on Max Payne and Get Rich or Die Trying. Barbara Gordon's most notable film credits include Cube 2, Hypercube, The Silence, and Dead Ringers. Her TV work includes series such as The Boys, The Newcomers, The Best Laid Plans, and various TV movies, including Christmas with Tucker and Made for Revenge. Sean Roberts is best known for his roles in zombie films, such as Land of the Dead, Diary of the Dead, and the Resident Evil franchise, including Afterlife, Retribution, and The Final Chapter. Roberts played Dean Walton in the Canadian television series Degrassi, The Next Generation. Other notable film appearances include roles in Jumper, Percy Jackson and the Olympians, The Lightning Thief, and various television shows, including Supernatural, Psych, and Flashpoint. Lyric Bent Martin began acting when a coworker at a sales job dared him to take acting classes. He is best known for his roles as Officer Daniel Rigg in the Saw franchise, Saw 2, 3, and 4. On TV, he co-starred in the Canadian television series Rookie Blue. More recently, Bent was in the Netflix series She's Gotta Have It, based on Spike Lee's film. I definitely give this one a positive recommendation. Now, it's not on the level of The Howling or An American Werewolf in London, but it is a solid, no-nonsense creature feature that keeps the pedal to the metal. Even if you're not aiming to hunt down every last werewolf flick ever made, like I am, there is plenty here to sink your teeth into. Stan Winston's effects work does what it needs to without getting too fancy, and the action scenes have enough bite to keep you engaged. Sure, some of the performances are a little overacted, but it's nothing too awful, and the climax certainly does feel like they were copying off the Terminator 2. What really caught my attention was how they twisted the usual werewolf mythology in some genuinely new ways. The only real shame is that a needlessly tangled plot and some wonky pacing kept this puppy from being the beast that it could have been. As a tidbit, the production team cut several scenes containing graphic violence to obtain a PG-13 rating. Later, an uncut version was released on DVD. It appears that the version showing on Amazon Prime Video is the PG-13 version. So let's cover the synopsis. An Indian runs through the forest. He tries to burn a map. Instead, he's captured by a pack of evil werewolves led by Varric. He kills himself rather than reveal the location of a particular boy. The boy must remain hidden for 4 more days until the blood moon. Elsewhere, 4 other people hope for the safety of the boy. Varric and the crew of werewolves find them and torture them to find out the boy's location. The boy's name is Timothy. He has asthma, and he's prophesied to decide the fate of werewolves around the world. He's been raised by his mother, Rachel, his grandmother, Nana, his uncle, Jonas, his cousin, Catherine, and Catherine's boyfriend, Adam. Oh, and some guy named Will. His father's dead. Now, both Rachel and Timothy are unaware that the rest of the family are good werewolves who have guarded Timothy and his secret since birth. He is a half-blood, prophesied to break their curse. They also know that his power puts him in danger, for other werewolves embrace the bloodlust, and they're bent on killing him. 3 of these are part of Varric's werewolf motorcycle gang, Zoe, Sonia, and Grenier, who uses a hawk as an aerial spy. It's pretty cool. Varric deduces Timothy is in the hamlet of Huguenot. When Varric lays eyes on Timothy, he starts a gunfight with a badass Nana that escalates to a full shootout between his pack against the good werewolves and various other townspeople. Several townsfolk die, and Nana ends up sacrificing herself to let Timothy and the others escape. Jonas explains the situation to Rachel and Timothy, who are convinced after Jonas and the others turn into werewolves at night. The evil werewolves kill some evil rapists before killing their victim. She had a very bad night. The next day, Timothy faints and is taken to a hospital. Varric's gang infiltrates the hospital and attacks Timothy. Adam kills Grenier, but Varric takes Catherine hostage. We learn that Varric used to be Caleb, Rachel's husband, and he's Timothy's father, who was abducted and forcibly corrupted into Varric when Timothy was just a baby. Our heroes escape and only have to hide for 36 more hours, but Adam leaves to rescue Catherine and bring her back. Unfortunately, Catherine was forced to feed on humans and kills Adam with his own gun. Just as Catherine is about to kill Timothy, Jonas kills her with a gunshot to the back. Jonas, Rachel, and Timothy hide out in an abandoned factory. Mother and son are locked in a steel cage while Jonas sets out to ambush Varric, Zoe, and Sonia. Zoe is killed after being trapped and dropped from a height. Sonia breaks into the cage and attacks Rachel and Timothy. Timothy shoots Sonia and Rachel finishes her off. Varric tries to kill Timothy but is stopped by Jonas. The brothers struggle and Jonas feeds on Varric's arm and knocks him unconscious. Taken over by the blood frenzy, Jonas now attacks Timothy but is killed by Rachel. Varric wakes up and bites Timothy, but the clock chimes midnight. He is struck by Rachel and knocked to the ground. As Rachel and Timothy approach, they both witness him transform back into Caleb, revealing that Timothy's blood is the cure. Timothy and Rachel rush to Caleb's side and share an emotional family reunion. Later, they are shown traveling around administering the cure to those who want it, while using bullets filled with Timothy's blood on those who are attacking them. The film leaves off with Timothy saying, "For some, I am salvation. For the others, I am their destruction." The Stan Winston studio delivered decent practical werewolf effects for the Skinwalkers that effectively blend human and wolf characteristics primarily through makeup, with just a hint of digital enhancement. By keeping the transformations under the red light of the moon and distorting the screen, the effects don't have to carry as much weight as normal, creating a sequence that feels more like a hallucination, which I found to be quite effective. Unlike many werewolf films that show gradual transformation, Skinwalkers often presents the creatures in their fully transformed state to emphasize their predatory nature, with werewolves less wolf-like than many other cinematic interpretations. They feature fully human bodies and bestial but still recognizable faces. Wardrobe serves a crucial function here by helping identify who is who, even during mortal combat between a half dozen hairy werewolves slamming into each other. The film introduces an innovative restraint jacket designed for good werewolves to wear during their metamorphosis, preventing them from feeding, and this is a cool evolution of the very familiar concept we've seen before where werewolves lock themselves away to try and keep others safe. So let's talk about the werewolf lore. Skinwalkers creates a distinctive werewolf mythology that deviates from traditional lore in several ways. Unlike classic werewolf stories, these creatures have no weakness to silver. And while they do heal quicker than normal humans, they don't possess supernatural level recovery abilities that make them nearly invincible. The moon does still control their transformations, preserving that lycanthropic connection. The film suggests that lycanthropy is primarily a hereditary condition rather than something transmitted through bites or scratches, as evidenced by the sheer number of werewolf family members throughout the story. And notably, no one seems particularly concerned when Rachel is slashed towards the end of the film. Although this could be simply because few characters remained alive at that point to worry about her potential infection. Now, what makes this mythology particularly interesting is the moral dimension. All werewolves become bloodthirsty killers in their lycanthropic form, but feeding on human blood corrupts them in their human form as well, creating a cycle of degradation. Skinwalkers also adds a new werewolf cure to the encyclopedia of lore. The blood of the half-breed Timothy functions as a remedy. We have seen the lycanthropic curse framed as a biological infection before. This evolves that idea to include an antibody resistance or cure. Timothy's immune system can fight off the infection, allowing his blood to give other werewolves the same liberation. This is similar in practice to the cure that we saw in Van Helsing, but with a more grounded and understandable source. So let's talk about family, heritage, and identity in Skinwalkers. This film explores how inherited identity shapes both strength and vulnerability through its portrayal of two opposing werewolf factions. The peaceful clan embodies tradition and restraint, values that have maintained balance for generations, while the aggressive faction rebels against these constraints, choosing unbridled power over wisdom. This conflict illustrates how boundaries exist for a good reason, even as the dangerous lure of rejecting all limitations also proves seductive. The film's most intriguing observation lies in the structural differences between these factions. The peaceful werewolves operate as an extended family unit, bound by blood and shared history, creating natural accountability and mutual support systems. In contrast, the evil werewolves form a misfit band, united by goals rather than by bonds. This difference reveals family as a stabilizing. This difference presents family as a stabilizing force, providing the emotional framework necessary for ethical behavior and long-term thinking through natural mentorship, shared responsibilities, and a continuity that extends beyond individual lifespans. Skinwalkers also examines how love and sacrifice function within these family structures. Nana sacrifices herself for the greater good, while Jonas dies fighting his own brother in order to protect his nephew, demonstrating the lengths family members will go to protect one another. However, the film does reveal the darker side of these instincts when evil werewolves exploit these familial bonds, using Catherine as a Trojan horse. This manipulation shows how the very qualities that make families strong, trust, loyalty, and a willingness to sacrifice for each other, also make them vulnerable to those who understand and target these bonds. Despite the best intentions and greatest sacrifices, family members can't always save those they love, adding complexity to the film's exploration of familial dynamics. Now, despite its world-changing consequences, Skinwalkers deliberately operates on a much smaller scale, focusing on character conflicts rather than big epic battles. This intimate approach serves the family drama elements well, allowing for genuine emotional resonance in the quieter moments. However, when the story demands larger scope and epic action, the constrained scale feels limited, preventing the narrative from fully realizing its broader implications. Now let's move on and talk about The Chosen One. Skinwalkers is the first werewolf film to fully embrace the Chosen One narrative framework. While traditional werewolf stories focus on curses, transformation, or pack dynamics, this film centers on Timothy, whose importance stems not from his actions or his abilities, but from his nature. This shift creates a unique entry point for examining how the Chosen One trope can function within werewolf mythology. Now, the Chosen One trope is among storytelling's most enduring patterns, involving a protagonist selected by fate, prophecy, or genetics to fulfill a crucial role only they can complete. This archetypal narrative follows key patterns. The protagonist begins in obscurity, experiences a call to adventure, revealing their special status. They initially resist that role, only to accept it later. They train, face tests, proving their worthiness, and finally fulfill their destiny through a climactic confrontation. This trope provides clear stakes and urgency while justifying the protagonist's centrality to the story, but it also carries limitations, including the potential for the protagonist to be passive and the risk of reducing complex conflicts down to individual solutions. Examples span from Harry Potter, marked by prophecy and his unique connection to Voldemort, to Luke Skywalker, positioned as the galaxy's hope through his Force sensitivity and heritage, to something like Buffy Summers, whose Chosen One's status comes with explicit costs and isolation. Now, Timothy fits the archetype while introducing several werewolf-specific elements. His importance stems from his nature as the physical union between human and werewolf worlds, a pure chosen-by-birth variant where genetics determines significance. Like many Chosen Ones, he begins unaware of his importance until both werewolf factions' interest confirms his special status. His decision about which path to follow will determine werewolf society's future, giving him the world-changing significance typical of Chosen One narratives. However, Skinwalkers subverts traditional conventions in some fascinating ways. Timothy's importance stems from what he is, rather than what he can do. Traditional Chosen Ones gain special abilities, powers, or knowledge, enabling them to fulfill their destiny. Timothy's power lies in his existence and his choice. He has no supernatural abilities exceeding other werewolves. I don't think he can even change. This shift from can do to is creates a more passive chosen status, reducing some of the typical hero's journey elements while emphasizing the weight of choice and identity. The werewolf setting adds unique dimensions as well, distinguishing Skinwalkers from other supernatural narratives. Traditional werewolf mythology emphasizes the curse, the loss of control, and the human-animal struggle. Previous films focused on lycanthropy as affliction or a punishment. By introducing the Chosen One framework, the film shifts from personal transformation to cosmic significance, from individual struggle to a factional conflict. The werewolf context emphasizes the nature versus choice tension that are always inherent in Chosen One narratives. While Timothy's importance comes from his genetic heritage, his role depends on his conscious choice about which path to follow, creating unique balance between predetermined significance and active agency. Like Buffy, Skinwalkers questions whether being chosen is an inherently positive thing. Rather than framing selection as an honor or opportunity, Timothy's situation presents being chosen as potentially burdensome, forcing him into an unwanted conflict while just making him a target. Ultimately, Skinwalkers demonstrates the Chosen One trope is continually viable and adaptable. Timothy's story proves that being chosen can be as much a burden as it is a blessing, and as much about identity as it is about ability, and that the most interesting destinies offer no clear answers about what being chosen truly means. So if you like lycanthropes, like, share, and subscribe. Contribute your thoughts and additional observations in the comments below. Let me know what I missed or what you noticed. Next, I plan to return to the Underworld franchise by discussing Underworld Evolution from 2006. Keep your eye on the moon, a silver bullet in the chamber, and we'll see you back here next episode.